First at 4. Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, police say an 18-year-old was killed while walking in the roadway. It happened in Bell County early this morning. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds has more.
Kentucky State Police say around 4:20 on Thursday morning, they received a call about a fatal crash in the Pineville community of Bell County. Police say the Bell County coroner was called to the area close to the Kentucky Division of Forestry building in Pineville on US 25 East shortly after 4, after hearing a truck had hit a pedestrian walking in the roadway. Officers found a 2010 black Ford F-150. Police say the driver saw someone standing in the road but was unable to avoid hitting them.
Very sad situation for not only the loved ones to have to deal with, but as a police officer to go out here and have to work these type of complaints, that's one that you don't want to have to work.
Troopers say they are still trying to determine why Fugate was walking through this area so early in the morning. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Police reconstructed the crash this morning. No foul play is suspected. We'll have more reaction coming up tonight at 6. The parents of a missing Illinois boy are now charged with his murder. Prosecutors say at a bond hearing this morning, A.J. Freund's parents say they killed and then buried the 5-year-old 3 days before reporting him missing. Andrew Freund Sr. and Joanne Cunningham's bond was set at $5 million. Police say the parents provided information yesterday morning that led to the discovery of AJ's body. His body was found in a shallow grave near Woodstock, about 7 miles from their home.
It's been another warm day across the mountains, but we have seen those mostly cloudy skies really throughout the day today. You'll notice that here on our UVA WISE camera, those clouds increasing. We saw pockets of sunshine a little bit earlier, but now most of us are dealing with those mostly cloudy skies. You'll notice much of the same story as we look at Stonecrest over into Prestonsburg, starting to look a little bit gloomy as well. You'll notice satellite and radar, those clouds increasing throughout the day. We're seeing those rain chances increasing mainly to the north and to the west of us, and that's because we're kind of under this warm front, and that low pressure system is still out to our west along with that cold front. So those scattered rain chances will start to return tonight, but then that brings soggy conditions into the mountains overnight tonight, and especially as we head into your Friday morning. So you'll notice where that warm front is kind of draped just to the north of us, because all of Kentucky is definitely in that warm sector where we're still into those 70s, showing a 76 in Lexington, most of us into those low to mid 70s here across the mountains. So the soggy conditions really return as we head into the overnight hours, especially into early Friday morning. The good news is we do have a pretty nice weekend ahead. I'll have that full forecast coming up for you guys in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Today marks the final day of the Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit down in Atlanta, but there was also lots of talk about marijuana today. WYMT's Will Puckett explains.
It's the fourth and final day of the 2019 Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit. But before it all wraps up, there's another summit within this one called the SAM Summit, talking about smart approaches to marijuana and if it has a future in the United States. Marijuana today is not the marijuana of old.
Marijuana of the old days, which was 3 to 4% THC, and then there's marijuana of today, which can be up to 99% potent THC, which is what gets you high.
Officials with SAM do not argue the medical options of marijuana. What they are arguing is there is not enough education behind its harmful effects.
But what does count is the FDA-approved medications, and we totally support that. Listen, if you get relief from some of those medications, we are in complete support of it. But that's very different than some of the other things that are being sold as purported medicine.
Education is key, but also understanding that there are ways these companies are angling themselves to sell to one demographic who is targeted often.
In Denver, Colorado, there's one pot shop for every 47 residents in communities of color. More pot shops than Starbucks and McDonald's combined.
They say half the battle is finding a happy medium between mass incarceration and commercialization. If we can find that, there might be a future. In Atlanta, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
To learn more about the work SAM is doing, head to learnaboutsam.org. Well, it is finally official. Former Vice President Joe Biden entered the race for the Democratic nomination for president this morning. He announced his candidacy with a 3-minute campaign video that largely focused on the race riots in Charlottesville. A source close to Biden tells CBS News that was when he decided to run.
And in that moment, I knew the threat to this nation was unlike any I had ever seen in my lifetime.
Biden joins one of the largest and most diverse field of primary candidates ever assembled. At 76 years old, Biden is 1 year younger than 77-year-old Bernie Sanders. South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg is the youngest Democratic candidate at 37. Well, it is day one of the East Kentucky Leadership Conference at the Benham Schoolhouse Inn in Harlan County. Folks could attend a variety of different sessions throughout the day. WYMT's Connor James was there and has more.
A beautiful day here today at the Benham Schoolhouse Inn, and a lot of great workshops focused on bringing life and rejuvenating those here in Eastern Kentucky. Some of the first sessions of the day included the East Kentucky Women in Leadership session, which included some young girls from a STEM camp. Another one of those sessions, the What's Next East Kentucky session, where the people who attended shared their hopes for this region.
What do they say? The rising tide lifts all boats. Okay, this is figuring out how we're going to raise the tide, because it's going to lift up everybody.
Just some of the other sessions throughout this weekend, one focused on building a hemp economy here, and one focused on building economic growth with tourism around lakes. There's quite a bit going on, and this will go on all through tomorrow as well. I'm in Harlan County. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
And we'll have more coverage from the conference coming up at 5:30 and 6. Well, tonight, a big night for sports. The NFL Draft is about to begin down in the Music City. WYMT's Willie Hope joins us now live from Nashville to kick off today's Big Blue coverage. Willie.
Welcome into Nashville. We're about 4 hours away from tonight's NFL Draft as Josh Allen awaits his fate as to where he will go. However, Allen was already in the news earlier today. UK Athletics put up a poster featuring Allen on Broadway Street, who is supposed to be a top 10 pick. However, the NFL had it taken down. Here's what fans had to say about the fact that the banner was taken down.
Hey, if you're a UK fan, you're a UK fan, and if you're not, we're sorry for you.
Scared he's going to go maybe the fourth or maybe even the third round.
Because we beat Tennessee this year, their butt hurt. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened. Sorry, Tennessee.
Now, UK didn't actually beat Tennessee this year, and the state of Tennessee has nothing to do with the fact that the poster was taken down. It was actually the NFL. Their logo was used on the poster by UK Athletics. Regardless of whether the banner is up or not, Josh Allen will most likely hear his name called in the first round of tonight's NFL Draft. Just another talking point as we head into the big night. I'll send it back to you, Steve. Live here from Nashville at the NFL Draft, Willie Hope, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Willie, thank you. At least 37 people were hospitalized due to a chemical spill in Beach Park, Illinois. Among those hospitalized are 11 firefighters and 3 police officers. 7 people are in critical condition. For a time, people who lived within 1 mile of the spill were asked to stay inside their homes, but that shelter-in-place request was lifted. Law enforcement says it started with a container leak.
Preliminary investigation is there was a tractor that had a trailer of containers which contained anhydrous ammonia. There was a leak in at least one of these containers, which created the massive chemical spill. When that chemical spilled, it created a plume of chemical smoke which entered the air.
Anhydrous ammonia is generally used by farmers for fertilizer. The driver of that tractor was also hospitalized. A number of schools in the area called off classes due to the spill. Russia's president is wedging himself into the conflict between the U.S. and North Korea. Vladimir Putin hosted North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in their first ever face-to-face talks. Those talks quickly turned toward breaking the deadlock over nuclear weapons. Putin says Kim agreed to give up his arsenal, but only if North Korea gets international security guarantees. For Putin, the first talks between the two leaders are seen as a way to elbow himself between Washington and Pyongyang. Let's head over to Wall Street now this Thursday afternoon. The Dow closes down today more than 134 points. Rami Malek defeated his competition to win an Oscar for his portrayal of Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. Now the actor is taking on a more dangerous foe, Bond, James Bond. Producers announced today Malek will play the villain in the upcoming unnamed film that fans are referring to as Bond 25. It will mark Daniel Craig's final outing as the British super spy. Little else was revealed about the movie during a live stream from Jamaica, but producers did say the island will serve as a filming location. Straight ahead on First at 4, the show goes on. The first production at the newly named Appalachian Center for the Arts kicks off tonight.
And a cold front is working its way into the mountains, which will bring more soggy conditions back into the mountains. I'll have those details coming up in just a few short minutes.